Just holding on a second whilst the tech catches up and confirms we're all live. Okay, that is looking good. My end, it is so lovely to be back with you live. We've been traveling in the US and teaching retreats and all sorts of things. So it feels like a little while since we have done one of these live. So hello, welcome back. It is lovely to have you. Welcome to the Yoga Teach Collaborative podcast. Whether you are with us live in the Yoga Teach Collaborative Facebook group or you are listening to the podcast on Spotify, absolutely delighted that you are here. Remember on the Spotify that you can subscribe so you never miss one of these sessions. A live podcast is released every single Friday, even when I'm traveling, even when I'm not here. We have lots of past recordings, so there is always something for your ears, for your education, for your heart and your soul released every single week over in Spotify. But welcome, my name is Laura Green. I am a yoga teacher, a retreat leader, a teacher trainer, and a business mentor for yoga teachers. I have been teaching yoga for over 15 years now, predominantly always as a self-employed yoga teacher in that time, whether it's been in-person classes, workshops, courses, retreats, a festival, a teacher training, online courses and online business. I have done most of it, so I can turn my hand to giving you the advice you need. And the mission here really is to support you to thrive, both personally and professionally, in the business side of your teaching and in the inspiration in the heart and the soul of teaching. Today's session, we are looking at the Summer Seasonal Slowdown and how you can navigate that both in your business, but also how you can prepare yourself for it in your heart and your soul. Because we can't really separate, can we? We can't separate our teaching business, our yogic practice, our emotions. It is all intertwined because we teach yoga because it is our passion. It is our calling. So we can't separate the emotions from it. It is entangled. And sometimes the ups and downs in the business side can have an effect on our confidence. It can have an effect on how we're feeling emotionally. So it's really important that you prepare yourself for this, that you look ahead, that you know how to navigate it, so that when we do have those seasonal slowdowns, they don't surprise you and actually you're ready to make the best of them rather than feel worried or concerned or apprehensive. Yes, it would be wonderful to have consistent class numbers throughout the year, every single month. But that just isn't what happens. There is seasonal lulls and seasonal highs. We know, for instance, in Christmas, in December, end of December, beginning of January, there is a lull as it's dark, it's cold, it's wet. People have other commitments with family, with work, with parties, with their social calendar. Some people can be a bit financially stretched in December, so we know there is that lull. But we also know come January that, not always the first week of January, but from, the latter half of the second week of January, the third week of January, that there is this boost as people are naturally motivated to do things to look after their health and their well-being, get back to themselves after the December. Well, this same thing is true in the summer. There is a summer seasonal slowdown. We tend to feel the peak of that during the school holiday phase, but it kind of peters around at either side of it as well. And it is an opportunity to do things differently in your business. So we know that there's going to be a fluctuation in our class numbers in summer. We know some people, the sun is shining, it's warm, they want to be outside. They might not necessarily want to be inside in a hall. When it gets really, really hot, those couple of weeks we get of summer when it's really hot and very few of our halls have air conditioning. Someone's been in a stuffy office all day It's hard to then go into a village hall or a studio that doesn't have aircon. We know that. We understand that. We can have empathy for that. And then, people travel. If they're traveling with their kids in the school holidays, or maybe they go a little bit earlier in June or a little bit later in September, either side of those holidays, people like to travel. If you do have daytime classes, maybe people have to be looking after the kids. Maybe you're looking after the kids. So there's many a reason why class numbers will be less consistent through the summer. And why are we talking about this now as we've just come into May? You're like, we're still in spring. Why are we talking about this? Because you want to plan ahead. As my dad always used to say to me, and excuse the language, he always used to say, piss poor planning equals piss poor performance. The other thing my dad always said was, don't drink cheap port, it gives you a hangover. So 2 wise lessons from a man. If you're going to drink port, make sure it's the good stuff and plan. Plan ahead. There's no point getting into July and going, oh, my classes are quiet. What can I do about it? My income's going to be down, or start to worry. Instead, let's have a strategy and get that strategy now. And having a strategy for your business is often a missing link with yoga teachers. And I'm not naturally drawn to strategy either. I have to sit myself down as if I'm my own boss, my own CEO, and plan ahead for the upcoming period. So let's start with the things in May. Just really simply, if you have a Monday class, I have a Monday night class. I know many of you teach on a Monday, and those May bank holidays give us a right old hiccup in our flow. Even more so this year, with us just having had Easter so late. So we had the Easter Monday, then we've got the 2 bank holiday Mondays in May, and this can really hit your Monday classes. So how to navigate that? There's a couple of options. I have council halls and they are closed on a Monday. I have no option to be running those classes. Even if I was happy to teach on the bank holiday Monday, there's no option. So I do have to cancel my classes on the bank holiday Monday, invite those students to come along to a different class on my timetable in the week, or to refund them. And it is just about that communication. Students get so much into their routine that if they go on a Monday, they go on a Monday. And you might be teaching other evenings, but unless you say, look, we've got 3 bank holidays, that's going to really disrupt your routine with your yoga, but it doesn't have to. Why don't you come on a Tuesday or a Wednesday? Here's a link to book. And I know that sounds such simple advice, but often we just need the suggestion, oh yeah, of course I can come on a Wednesday next week. So don't presume that your students will make that connection. So I did it this week. I sent a 1-to-1 email to every person that comes or sometimes comes to my Monday classes. And it just said, I'm really missing our regular yoga because I've been on holiday as well. We've got a little bit of upheaval coming with more bank holidays, but hey, why don't you come to another class? Click here to book them on my timetable. If you can't make that, just let me know and I will refund you from the subscription. And then I said, once it comes back to June, it's all going to be systems go, and I promise to spoil you with lots of extra lovely indulgent classes. So getting them excited about the return in June. And then once we're past these May bank holidays, reach out again 1-to-1 to those students that come on your Monday classes saying, oh, we made it through those bank holidays. I hope you had a great time. Looking forward to seeing you back at class next Monday. We are going to be covering, or we're going to do an indulgent, or we're going to do a really fun, or give them a teaser of what to expect in that Monday class to help motivate them back into the routine. And then also just to say, if you're open to teach on a bank holiday Monday, I'm not really. I like the extended weekend with my husband. But if you are open to be teaching on the bank holiday and your venue's closed, maybe there's another nice venue that you could use as a one-off. Or maybe if it's good weather, you could teach a pop-up class in a garden. Great if your garden's big enough. If it's not, what about one of your students? Say, hey, would you like this to continue? You know, we could take it outside. Maybe if one of you got a garden, we can come to yours. We can do a little picnic afterwards, make it something fun. You can also use public outdoor space, but there is some complexity with that. If it's like a public outdoor council, you might need a license, you might need to contact them. When I'm teaching outside, I personally prefer private spaces than public spaces where I'm not going to have to deal with members of the public interrupting our yoga classes or people's dogs running in. Maybe you've got a nice restaurant with a garden near you, or I've got a nice old kind of wedding venue with a garden near me. Nothing's going to be going on the Monday. I pop them a little bit of money and I can teach a pop-up class outside. So, you know, think outside the box. It's probably too late for this Monday, but the Monday and the bank holiday Monday near the end of the month, think outside the box. Let's do a pop-up class outside if it's nice weather or another venue, and invite your other students along. Some people are looking for things to do on a bank holiday, so do it as a pop-up. Hey, pop-up outdoor yoga class at this stately home or this beautiful garden, and make it something fun. Maybe it's just got strawberries and cream at the end. So do that to get over those Monday classes. Promote a pop-up, communicate clearly with your Monday students, and maybe you do teach in it. Then, as we come through, June's normally okay. So, you know, good communication after the bank holidays. Let all of your classes pick up in June, but good communication with your students then as we're coming through June into July, into August. If you are going to take a break over August, crack on, go for it. If you take the school holidays off, go for it. Guilt-free, go for it. Just communicate clearly with your students. If you're going to keep your classes running through the summer, I usually do. There's a couple of summers I've taken off, but I usually keep my classes running. Know that the numbers just might be a little bit more inconsistent. So what are some ways around this? First of all, you could amalgamate a couple of classes, or you could have a reduced summer timetable so that you're maybe seeing the same number of students but in a smaller number of classes. That's going to minimize your whole hire, minimize your time, give you a little bit more freedom and flexibility in the summer so that you'll notice the dip in income less once you've dropped a little bit of the costs, amalgamated some classes together for the summer. And you say, this is the summer timetable, full timetable resumes in September. That can be a really good idea. Or if you're going to keep your full timetable running, you know the numbers might fluctuate a little bit. This could be a really good time to run a promo campaign for beginners. Get more active on your social media groups, in Facebook groups, do an email campaign, do an invite a friend campaign. You could, so I do a free first class, and if you recommend a friend, you could have a you get the class free as well. And you could make it like a little challenge. So you could have week 1 of August or July could be bring a family member and they get the class for free, you get yours half price. Week 2 could bring, say your classes are more female heavy and you don't have as many men in your classes as you like, you could run a promo campaign that's bring a guy to yoga. Here are the benefits of yoga for men. Here are the reasons men should be making more time for yoga. Bring a guy along with you for yoga. They get their first class free. You get yours half price. If you don't, bring a family member, bring a man, bring a friend. Okay? So you could have a different incentive each week for someone to introduce someone in their circles to classes. You could just focus more on beginners, enticing them to sample the classes over summer, do something different. And you can create a theme or a series of classes over your summer. So maybe you teach a Tuesday evening class and it's going to be your same normal weekly Tuesday class, but you decide to give it a pop-up theme for 4 weeks or 6 weeks, or you make it a series, so that you are focusing on something your students really want to learn or really want to journey through, that gives them that little bit of FOMO, that little bit of extra motivation, that even if the sun is shining and the pub garden is cooling, there's that little extra pull to yoga. So what could a series be? What is like 6 related classes that you could link together that would give people, like a TV series, this feeling that they have to come to the next one? It could be something like a journey through the yama and niyama of Patanjali. It could be a journey through the chakras. It could be a journey through the koshas. But it can be more creative than that. It could be a journey through different poets that you like. It could be a journey through the different symbolism of the different planets. It could be a journey through some of the different deities of yoga, the different myths behind the asanas. But this kind of related series, and then at the end of one class you tease, just like a cliffhanger on the telly, you tease what to expect the next week, and you're doing that live in class, but maybe you also have a little email series that goes with it. So let's say that you are looking at the koshas, or looking at the different planets, or looking at different poets. You could have an email that goes out on, say, the Thursday, or a WhatsApp message to your students saying, next week, week 1 of our new series, we are going to be looking at the poetry of T.S. Eliot. We're going to be looking at the symbolism of the planet of Jupiter. We're going to be looking at the first kosha, Annamaya kosha. Okay. It introduces it. It says why it's relevant to the person. What are they going to learn? How are they going to feel inspired? What's going to be different in their life for doing this class with you? Give them a little extra. Maybe you give them the playlist from the class, a copy of the poem, and then they book. So this, you do this on the end of the week before. So book for next week. And then next week on the Thursday, it was so wonderful to see you all exploring the poetry of T.S. Eliot. Next week, we're going to be moving on to book here to come to part 2 of the series, so that there is this communication and it's all, I don't want to miss out because this session is continuing. So we have themes, series, really tapping into FOMO. And it doesn't have to be anything even as creative as that. It could be an anatomical journey. So, what are the main body parts the students grumble to you about? Is it tension headaches? Is it neck? Is it shoulders? Is it lower back? Is it hips? And you could do 1 per week, and I know you might do that anyway, but it's about the communication. So again, the Thursday of the week before, hey, yoga next week, we are going to be looking at releasing neck and shoulder tension. Book here. And then the following week, okay, we had a great time releasing neck and shoulder tension. Let's now move into the lower back. Here's the lower back. So it's creating this feeling that I need to go next week. It's not just yoga. I can get yoga every week. But if I don't go next week, I'm going to miss out on the next one in the series, and communicating that clearly. And maybe you're having that at your normal classes. Maybe you've amalgamated your classes. Or maybe you are going to pause your classes for summer because there's childcare, but you want to still maintain some income. So what are some pop-ups that you could do, or a summer series that you could do that will help still bring you some income? So maybe you could have that you teach 3 Saturday mornings over the 6 weeks of summer. And that's not something you'd normally do. Maybe you don't normally have a Saturday class, but something different that's just for summer. And if you do a series like that outside of your normal timetable, maybe encourage people to book the whole series. So if you book all 3 of these, it's X price, or if you book 1, it's this price. And these could be collaborations. And I think these summer series, these summer pop-ups, these summer collaborations are a really good idea because people are looking for something fun, something different, some activity to do over summer. So think about you. What would you like to go to? What would you like to attend that you would enjoy? What brings you pleasure in summer? What's fun? So it could be a yoga picnic. It could be a yoga and brunch, collaborating with a local caterer or a local restaurant. It could be an outdoor summer evening with a sound bath. It could be an outdoor summer solstice event. It could be an outdoor summer moon event. But it's about planning these things now so that you know when you're going to market them, when you're going to launch them, how you're going to get people there, rather than in the spur of the moment. Oh, it's too much. I've got to find a venue. I've got to find a caterer. I've got to market it. Oh, nice idea, but I'm not going to do it. Whereas if you start planning these things into your diary now, and then you can work out what are all the actions I have to take and when am I going to do them, you're much more likely to get this done. So yeah, summer series, fun things to do, pop-up events, think about treat, indulgence and fun. I also urge you towards the end of summer or, like the beginning of September to consider a beginner's workshop, just a 90-minute pop-up beginners workshop. When people have got a little bit more time, they might try something new, but then that's going to inspire them once it comes to September to, oh yeah, I really like that beginners workshop. Let's go ahead and get a class. Let me sign up to a course so you can just get a few more beginners into your community. And then use this time to catch up. If it is less busy, if you are taking the time off your classes, there is a lull. How could you look after your future self by doing things in this lull that are admin that you might not have so much time for later? I'm going to say it, the tax return. So the financial year has ended. It ended at the end of March. And yes, your tax return isn't due until, the end of December, beginning of January time. But you don't have to wait, my loves. December can be busy. January can be busy. Why do we leave it till the last minute? I am doing my tax return this weekend because it's slightly quieter and we're in the middle of trying to move house. I know it's all going to get hectic. So I'm just going, I've got a little bit quiet. I'm going to put 2 hours aside, get that tax return done. Get your tax return done in a lull. Don't leave it till your busy time. Okay, and when you do your tax return now, you don't have to pay it now. You're just doing the paperwork and submitting your tax return. You can still wait till, January time to pay it if you prefer. But if you can get it done, paid now, perfect. So your tax return, lovelies. But what other things could you get ahead with? Do you need to do an upgrade to your website? Has your website got a little bit out of date? Do you need to go through video courses that you've bought but not done yet? Have you got videos that you've been filming that you need to upload to YouTube or video or upload so your students have access to them? Could you get ahead with your social media, plan a few little videos, a few little posts, and then schedule them? If you want to take the summer off and not do any of this work, could you do it now? Could you get ahead on your social media and schedule all of your social media now through summer so you don't have to be trying to post on social media whilst you're also looking after your kids? So really thinking, what kind of summer do you want and how can you plan it now? If you want to work, keep working, communicate with your students, do series, tap into that FOMO, add some extra pop-up events. If you want to work a little bit, but not so much, and you need to have some income, consider amalgamating your timetable and doing pop-up events. If you want to not work at all and be really present with your family, with your kids, get ahead now, get your emails scheduled, get your social media scheduled so that you're still getting the communication with your students, but actually You've done it all ahead of time. So I hope that gives you some ideas, my lovelies. And the main thing I wanted you to take away from today is I'm just tickling your inspiration pot. What I want you to take away is plan. It is the beginning of May. We've got May, June. Then we know things are going to be a little trickier in July, August, first week of September. Things pick up second to third week of September. We know that is coming. So plan for it now. What are you going to do with your timetable? How are you going to communicate? Do you want to do some pop-up events? Do you want to do some day events? Do you want to do some collaborations? Do you want to have the whole time off? So now get all your marketing sorted. That is the takeaway. Be strategic. Think ahead and act now. Otherwise, we get these wonderful creative ideas, but we don't action them because we've not left ourselves enough time to do it. Okay, lovelies. That is that. Any questions, reach out to me on social media, reach out to me on email, WhatsApp, in the Facebook group. I am always here for you. I look forward to seeing you soon. We do have a live training starting next week on the foundations of sequencing. It's a 4-hour training, 2 hours next week and then 2 hours in a couple of weeks' time on the foundations of sequencing. So I'd love to do that with you. Feel free to reach out for that. You can find it on my website or just reach out and ask for it. And I will see you another time soon, my lovelies. Bye for now.